Are we ready to blow this popsicle stand?
Oh yeah!
Let's go!
Yeah!
My buddy Alan hit me up late last year asking me if I wanted to go to Amsterdam for Christmas or New Year's. I wasn't able to make that work, but after the holidays were over, I started thinking about it more and asked him if he still wanted to go to Amsterdam, as I had vacation time to use up before the middle of May. Since neither of us have been to Europe before, Alan was on board, and we began figuring out what ended up being an 8 or 9 day adventure, starting with Amsterdam and ending in Paris. This particular video covers our first 24 hours in this newfound land known as Amsterdam. This video and the ones I'll be releasing after probably aren't going to be particularly helpful if you're looking to plan your own vacation. I did check out a lot of travel blogs and YouTube videos to get an idea for an itinerary, but we ended up winging it a lot most days, particularly in Amsterdam, where we didn't have an itinerary at all. So if that's what you're looking for, go ahead and click out of this video after you like and subscribe to my page. However, if you are here to bask in the chaos of this unregulated adventure, or if you are just here because of my ravishingly good looks, keep watching. Also, please like and subscribe to this account, and let me know how dreamy you think I am in the comments below. And now, without further ado, as stated earlier, Alan and I have never been to Europe. My vacations up to this point have typically been limited to the United States and Canada, and I'm usually visiting national parks and or hiking to the top of some mountain or checking out some scenery. Exploring cities has never been my thing, but I do like culture and architecture and food, and Europe has plenty to offer. I was able to get out of work a little early to get to Alan's house, where we then got to the bus station, which would then take us to the airport. Getting through TSA was easy enough, though the gimbal I brought kinda looks like a gun when folded up, and I had to explain what it was for. Otherwise, the whole thing was quick and painless, and we got a bite to eat in the food court until boarding time. Also worth noting is that I was very surprised at the cleanliness of the international concourse. The one other time I've flown out of Boston was domestically to Alaska, and whatever concourse that was left a lot to be desired. The plane that would take us to Amsterdam was huge. It was a Boeing 777-200, and there were 10 seats to a row. I was surprised that they gave us a blanket and a pillow, and we got at least 2 meals and 2 refreshment breaks for this 7-hour flight. It was during one of these meals that I learned that Alan doesn't like cheese. Although he did give me his cheese as well as his cheesecake, I have to judge him harshly for this and give him the title of uncultured swine until he corrects these transgressions. Like, how does anyone hate cheese? And why would you go to Europe of all places, where cheese might as well be considered a food group over there? Boggles the mind. The flight itself was easy enough. Getting through customs took a while, and we got lost trying to figure out how to get from the airport to the central station, but we got there eventually. Once out of the central station, we basked in the local scenery. The water, the bikes, the ferries, the roads that were completely lacking of cars, all of the canal boats. It's very different compared to, say, Boston. After dropping off our backpacks at our hostel, we headed south into the Cuyp district to check out one of Amsterdam's most famous markets, the Cuyp market. This is a 100-year-old open-air street market that features about 260 vendors selling all sorts of fruits, vegetables, meats, chocolates, flowers, clothings, portable electronics, you name it. The emphasis is on food, but clothes and other goods were on sale too, often cheaper than anywhere else. It was in this market that I tried my first stroopwafel. I went with the classic caramel version, and it was quite delicious. Alan and I would eventually get some wings. I thought they were fine, but Alan may have thought they were a bit on the spicy side.
Nice. Hot. Hot.
Once we were done with the market, we headed to the museum district. Museums weren't really going to be a part of our visit in Amsterdam, as my plan was to hit up a bunch of them in Paris, but the Van Gogh Museum seemed cool based on what little research I did beforehand. Sadly, when we got there, they didn't want to take our money. Apparently, they only let in a certain number of people per day, and they already hit that quota by the early afternoon when we showed up. And they didn't have any openings for the following day either somehow. However, we were able to secure a time slot into the Rijksmuseum next door, though we first had to hang out in the nearby garden while we waited 45 minutes to be able to get in. The Rijksmuseum is the National Museum of the Netherlands. The museum has on display 8,000 objects of art and history, mostly from the years 1200 onwards, including some masterpieces by Rembrandt, Frans Hals, and Johannes Vermeer. The museum was huge and we checked out most of it in a couple hours. Unfortunately, we didn't do our homework beforehand to know what the quote-unquote must-see pieces are, so we may or may not have footage on them. But I'll label the more prominent pieces and even some pieces that I just simply like as this video plays through. After we were done, we kind of wandered the streets aimlessly for a while, just taking pretty pictures and videos. As it got dark and the street lights started coming on, we realized we were pretty close to the infamous red light district, which we then chose to explore. For journalistic integrity, of course. I won't say too much about it, only because you're not allowed to take photos or videos there, and I don't really want to use this stock footage that I'm currently playing to make up for it. But I will say this, the district itself is much smaller than I thought, and it's not obvious which side streets are part of the district and which ones aren't. Perhaps that's intentional. The ladies in the windows were covered up, and even those wearing see-through lingerie had strategically placed band-aids and whatnot to cover up their lady bits. A lot of them looked like they had work done in one way or another, which isn't really my thing, but to each their own. The streets themselves were pretty packed with tourists that were just looking at the ladies in the windows in all of the various shops. You could frequently smell cannabis in the air, and once in a while, you would find someone walking through the district with a stroller or holding onto the hand of a child. I found that to be a bit shocking, but perhaps that's a normal thing in Amsterdam, and who am I to judge? Again, to each their own. Once we were done checking out the scene, we found a little Irish pub and had some beers before calling it a night at roughly midnight. The jet lag was starting to take over, but I think we did well. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss any sick travel updates. In the meantime, peace.
Hi.